Hi guys, and welcome back to the Xiaomi Retail Studios. My name's Nino and I'm joined by
Scott.
And today we've got something extremely exciting for you guys, and that's the first look and unboxing of the Xiaomi 11T Pro device. I've already seen a few bits around the phone itself, but actually this is going to be our first time actually seeing the device in person.
I really can't wait to see it. Let's get into it.
Let's dive in. Right, so should we take a look, Scott?
Absolutely,
Let's
mate.
see what we've got in the box here. So as you can see, we've got the 11T Pro right here. And one thing that you'll notice on the side of the box just there, Scott, is it actually says with easy access to Google Apps, you use the most.
The most.
So it's just kind of highlighting that same fact there. So what we're first presented with on here is of course the instructions and the different manuals. Plus you get obviously a SIM ejector tool. But one of the other benefits that you have with our devices is you actually get a case included in the box.
Is there a charger?
That's not the only thing. You're going to get to see some of those in just a bit too. So if we put that to the side, we then are presented with the 11T Pro itself right here. And as you can see, straight away from the offset, it is a fantastic looking device and also highlights some of the key aspects of the phone on the front of that too. So I'll hand that over to yourself. You were also asking before if the charger was included in the box, and not only is it a charger, but it's actually a 120 watt hypercharger you get in the box itself.
Did you say 120 watts?
120 watt hypercharger, and then of course to match that you also then get your cable on there too. And that is the full package included in the phone itself. And actually what we're going to do with the handset here is just take it out of the plastic, so you guys can see that amazing color option just there.
So Nino, I can see that there's been some changes in the design.
Yep.
What exactly has been changed?
So great question, Scott. So there's been a few differences with the actual design language on the 11T Pro. So one of the key things you'll notice is that new color option on this one. So this is called Meteorite Gray on here. And also, in addition, on the back of the phone, you'll also see the camera rays change slightly in the actual shape of it. But flipping the phone around itself, what you'll notice is the screen slightly different to the previous version. We've actually gone for a flat display on this one and also actually moved the hole punch notch just there.
So I can see that it's nice and bright now, nice and crisp.
Yep.
What else can you tell me about the display?
So the display on this one, this is a full HD plus display, but it also supports HDR10 plus and also Dolby Vision support on there too, right? So you have both of those codecs on there. So if you're enjoying HDR content, you can play that back without any problems on the 11T Pro.
It's nice and clean.
Nice and clean display. So in addition, another big benefit to the new display on the 11T Pro is, like I mentioned before, we've gone for a flat display on here. So that means for those that love gaming, for example, it's overall going to give you a nice experience when you are gaming on that new 11T
It's
Pro.
easier to hold, I guess. 100%. What I'm also seeing as you're showing me the phone is I can actually see a Harman Kardon speaker on the top.
Yeah, so likewise, we still have dual speakers on the 11T Pro, and these have actually been tuned by Harman Kardon, meaning that, you know, for gaming, for movies, you're overall going to get a premium sound
quality. So best audio.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's good. So Nino, what can you tell me about the battery on this device?
It's a great question. So the battery on the 11T Pro is absolutely fantastic. Definitely one of the standout features. So the first thing being that it's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. So a very large size on the device itself. But actually what really stands out to me is that charger that obviously, as we mentioned before, is included in the box. 120 watt hypercharger. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's break that down, because, you know, we say all these numbers, but actually for a customer standpoint, how does that translate into real world use? So what it means is that you can actually charge the phone from 0 to 100% in only 17 minutes. Or by just charging it for 10 minutes, that gives you over 7 hours of video playback.
So you could charge it up in the morning quickly if you need to quickly grab a coffee and go.
Let me give you an example, right? So currently, obviously, we're in the Reading office right here, guys. And I normally get the training at the moment from London Paddington to Reading Station. That train typically for the fast train is about 23 minutes. So if my phone's completely dead, I can plug it in using the 120 watt hypercharger and get a full charge on my way into work.
Perfect.
Which is incredible. In addition, this charger has actually also been backed by TUV Ryland to make sure that not only is it fast, but it's also safe to use at those high speeds.
That's a big selling point.
100%.
So you said that there was a new design on the camera itself.
Yep.
What's it gonna offer me?
So the camera itself on the 11T Pro has got typical kind of triple camera array, very similar to some of the other devices that we brought out, with the main camera being that 108 megapixel main shooter, but we have actually improved the low light capability of this camera. So what does that mean? Because, you know, we always throw out these kind of technical terms. Essentially what it means, when you're out and about at nighttime, you don't have to necessarily always use the night mode.
Okay.
The actual camera is able to take in a lot more light and give you much, much better results during nighttime photography. In addition, you also have your ultra wide. So, you know, for your family portraits, for example, rather than having to squeeze everyone in, switch to ultra wide, you can then take a nice picture. And then also for those that like to get a bit more creative, for example, get up close and personal, you also have your tele macro camera on there too.
Okay.
So a nice array.
Are you still keeping the movie effects?
So great question. So the movie effects for us was one of the most popular kind of features of the last generation of devices. And I'm very happy to say that is still the case with the 11T Pro on here. So you still can use things like parallel world, you know, freeze time, and all of those great movie effects that people know and love.
Getting creative, right?
100%. 100%.
So Nino, you've gone through some amazing features on the new handset.
Yep.
But what's powering this device?
It's a great question, Scott. So within the 11T Pro, we actually have, similarly to some of the other devices, the Snapdragon 888 chipset. So again, flagship chip within the phone itself. So that means that not only are you going to get amazing power, but it's also very power efficient too.
Okay.
So to link in with that battery that we spoke about earlier, you're still going to get fantastic power efficiency. So that means that it's always going to have the battery to kind of last you for the full day on the device itself. But even if you're running low, as we mentioned, you can quickly give it a boost. In addition, that also means the device is also dual 5G enabled. That means 2 separate 5G SIM cards on one device.
Wow. So that's dual SIM as well, yeah?
Yes.
So that's going to be an amazing asset for the stores.
100%.
So I actually noticed, you know, on the side that there was a special type of button.
Yes. So one of the other major differences in terms of design language, like we were speaking about earlier, is actually the fingerprint scanner. So we've now added the side-mounted arc fingerprint scanner onto the 11T Pro. That means that not only is it obviously the power button for that, but you can also unlock your device in one tap of that.
Okay, so that means if that phone's in my pocket, I can, by the time I get it out to the front, I can unlock it with just pulling it out of my pocket.
100%. Very, very fast, very efficient on the 11T Pro.